the preamble of the 1992 Constitution. Mr. Speaker, we the people of Ghana, in the exercise of our natural and inalienable right to establish a framework of government which shall secure for ourselves and posterity the blessings of liberty, equality of opportunity, and prosperity. Mr. Speaker, it continues in a spirit of friendship and peace with all peoples of the world, and in solemn declaration and affirmation of our commitments to freedom, justice, and probity and accountability. The principle that all powers of government spring from the sovereign will of the people, the principle of universal adult suffrage, and, Mr. Speaker, my emphasis, the rule of law, supremacy of the Constitution, equality before the law, and respect for the fundamental human rights and freedom of our people. Mr. Speaker, in terms of fundamental human rights of the people and access to justice, Mr. Speaker, embedded in that rule of law thing is the accessible and impartial justice. Mr. Speaker, we must be given usable opportunities when we think our rights have been violated to be able to vindicate our rights. Mr. Speaker, one of the things that we must advert our minds to is that when there are pending matters, it's important that I am allowed to finish the process before a decision will be taken that will prejudice my rights. And Mr. Speaker, we are not saying this because this is Justice Tokono, but this right must be available to every one of us and every Ghanaian. Mr. Speaker, fair legal procedures. Mr. Speaker, if I take a matter to court, I have every right to complete the matter before I'm told that my issue is foreclosed. Mr. Speaker, if matters are pending before courts and you leave the office, Mr. Speaker, Article 1446 provides situations where a justice of the Superior Court, including the Chief Justice, may lose office. Stated misbehavior, incompetence, and inability to perform the functions of the office. Mr. Speaker, what we are saying is that if we go ahead to confirm Justice Paul Bafo-Boni and he becomes the Chief Justice, and in the event that the pending cases terminate in her favor, what happens to that office? Mr. Speaker, we anticipate that there will be constitutional nuclear meltdown, and that is what we intend to avoid.
Honorable member.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member, please. I don't know how many times I have to draw the attention of members to this matter. That is not what is before us. Finality of the rule of law is pronounced and is in the bosom of the courts. Legislative power, the power to make laws, is in our bosom. The Constitution added the power to approve, that is, give prior approval to nominees by His Excellency the President. And that is exactly what we are doing. As to whether our decision is the final rule of law, is for another body to determine. And so the proper venue, and I keep on emphasizing that, is not this House, it's the court. And so please, once you have the matters pending there, the matters will continue to pen there, and you can vindicate those rights there. The judiciary cannot say that because Parliament is considering a bill that may have some effect on a matter before the judiciary, they'll have to hold on until we pass the bill before they proceed with the matter. They can't say that. The same, I'm just putting it in simple language, that once a matter before the judiciary, they can't say because that matter is before the judiciary, Parliament is stopped from also performing its function of lawmaking, of oversight, of these approvals and the rest until they finish adjudicating the matter. So we have to go on with ours. And that is exactly what we are doing. We cannot be stopped. I have given my ruling on this, and you are bound by it. If you are not, you know the rule in our standing orders. You know what to do. If you are not satisfied with that, you also have the courts to go and vindicate your rights. But so far as the matter before us is concerned, let's stick to that matter. Let's go on with that, and then later on you can proceed with whatever you want to do. But for me as Speaker, I preside. I don't judge. I preside. And I'll preside and make sure that what the rules say should happen will happen. At the end of the day, the House will be given the opportunity to take the decision. The rest, you can proceed on after that, please. So let's move on to the matter before us.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm guided. Mr. Speaker, next I would like to refer this House to Article 1254 of the Constitution, where it says that the Chief Justice shall be subject to the Constitution as be the head of the judiciary and shall be responsible for the administration and supervision of the
I told you about the timing. When there was the interjection, it stopped. It's automatic. It's not being controlled by me. Please, kindly give him 1 minute. 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what that provision provides for is that we are not looking at the Chief Justice's capacity as a Justice of the Supreme Court, but as a head of the judiciary in terms of the human resource, planning, organizing, directing, control, and discipline of the judicial human resource, the judicial service staff, including even judges. Mr. Speaker, one would be not too far away if you ask the acting Chief Justice whether or not he will be transferring judges, whether or not if a justice of the Superior Court, conducts himself or in any way he will be taking action against the person, or whether or not any disciplinary action can be taken anybody as a judge or any staff of the judicial service. Mr. Speaker.
The 1 minute is over again. So, but honorable member, don't be worried about that, because even this constitution, when it was being drafted, it was said to be drafted by hairdressers. Now, when it was approved, the people who stated that the hairdressers were drafting constitution kept on applauding the good works of the hairdressers. So, and you have also done that today. It's just that politicians are a different breed of human beings. So that is the challenge we have in the world. May we proceed to the next person, and this time from the majority side, and that is Honorable Eric Opoku. Honorable, you have seven minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the motion before this House. Mr. Speaker, this House is witnessing inconsistency in its highest apogee. Inconsistency that has never been seen on the floor of this House, except today. Mr. Speaker, you recall that in the last year of Mr. President John Agyekum Kufuor, 2008, Justice Paul Bafuboni was elevated to the position of Supreme Court Justice. And the Appointments Committee's report was submitted to this House for approval. Mr. Speaker, that day, records of this House indicate that the minority we see today, they were in the majority. And they extolled the virtues of this man right in this chamber. They described him as competent. They described him as competent, a man who has served this nation with dignity, an honest judge. In fact, they said a lot of good things about this man. Mr. Speaker, what has changed? What has changed? Today, the same person has been elevated, and now you are opposing his nomination. History will be the best judge. Mr. Speaker, again, I heard Honorable Enyimadu spoke about executive manipulation of the judiciary. Mr. Speaker, you recall that between 2003 and 2006, Justice Paul Bafuboni was appointed to the Fast-Track High Court. He was appointed to the Fast-Track High Court, a court established by President Kufuor, tried some cases, and after some years, declared unconstitutional in the history of our country. That was the period of executive manipulation of the judiciary. That was the period. And it happened under your watch. And today you have the courage to sit in the same chamber and talk about executive manipulation of the judiciary. Mr. Speaker, again, you are ruling on the matter, on this matter, is fortified by this report.
Honorable member, please, may we listen to, yes.
Mr. Speaker, very respectfully, I stand on Order 122 to clarify a point. Mr. Speaker, we don't appoint to the Fast-Track High Court. We appoint to the High Court. So, Mr. Speaker, that clarification would have to be clear. There's nothing like we appoint to the High Court and not the Fast-Track High Court. When you are appointed to the High Court, you are then assigned to a division of the High Court. Mr. Speaker, this is the point. You don't appoint to the High Court.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it is in the report, page 8. Page 8 of the report. Listen. Page 8 of the report. He was elevated to the High Court in 2000, serving at Sunyane and Kumasi between 2000 and 2003, and later appointed justice to the Fast-Track High Court. Is in the report. So what's your problem? So, Mr. Speaker, I was speaking to the report exactly how it is captured in the report. Now, Mr. Speaker, you are ruling on the matter that while Parliament is discharging a lawful duty, no court action can stop that. Is fortified by this report. And it's interesting we raise this issue for Ghanaians to know. Mr. Speaker, paragraph 27 of the report.
Honorable member, your leader is on his feet. Okay. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker,
I have been trying very hard to get members on this side to listen to opposing views. I urge our colleagues to also pay attention and listen so that we can expedite action on this matter. I'm just appealing to our colleagues on the other side.
Honorable members, please, we need to listen to each other. Honorable Doctor, he represented Parliament at our march against the judiciary. He was among the 11, and he ran all over the field without touching the ball. And he was substituted. So I understand that. Honorable members, please, we only consider and give prior approval to nominees of the President to the Supreme Court. The High Court and the Court of Appeal don't come before the House for prior approval. Please, that is the state of affairs. The process that he went through, I was minority leader. Concerns were expressed, but this was not a matter that came before the House for his approval or otherwise. Not at all. Please, let's go on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was saying that reading page 27 of the report, under point 6.18, propriety of proceeding with the vetting process. Your committee has reported, and indeed they have cited two major cases, one involving a member of this House, Honorable Vincent Asamoah versus Attorney General, and the report reads, to substantiate his position, the nominee cited relevant legal precedents, including Dufour versus Bank of Ghana and Vincent Assefuah versus Attorney General, both of which affirm the principle that the existence of a legal challenge does not suspend constitutional processes in the absence of an explicit court injunction. Mr. Speaker, these two cases.
Honorable member, I ruled on that, so let's move on.
Mr. Speaker, I'm moving on because our colleagues, when I raised the issue, that the same person, when he was brought here, they extolled his virtues. They said no, they are not opposed to his nomination, but they are talking about some legalities. And the basis of their argument is that there is a case that is to stop the proceedings of this House. And I'm reading this to fortify your ruling that they don't have basis. Their argument is baseless. They are only talking because they are in the minority and they want to be heard. Otherwise, they'll have no case at all to be even making noise in this House. The truth of the fact is that the man qualifies, he is competent. In fact, he is the first son from our region, Ahafo, to be elevated to this position. And the people of our region are solidly behind him. And so we urge our colleagues on the other side that you cannot oppose everything on this earth. You were here defending some few days ago. Now you are transmoging.
Honorable members, we move on to the next person, and that is the last from the minority caucus, and the leader himself wants to take up that task. So I call on Osahene Afenyo-Markin.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to add my voice to this debate on the floor. Mr. Speaker, in making my contribution, I would want to, in addition to the report, rely on the certified copy of the verbatim report of proceedings that has been served on my good self by the clerk through the chairman. And for the avoidance of doubt, I would want to make same available to the table office for the record, because I'm going to rely on same. Mr. Speaker, that said, I shall proceed to say that for the first time under the 1992 Constitution, a sitting Chief Justice has been removed pursuant to Article 146 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, that removal effected on 1st September 2025, following recommendation by a committee chaired by His Lordship Justice Gabriel Puaman, has generated unprecedented litigation challenging its constitutional validity, procedural regularity, and legal effectiveness. Critically, several proceedings were filed before Her Ladyship's removal was finalized. These are contemporaneous constitutional challenges asserting fundamental and irredeemable flaws in the Article 146 process. The removal proceeded despite these pending objections. These objections now remain unresolved before multiple courts of competent jurisdiction. Mr. Speaker, we, the minority, hold the view that there has been inconsistency in the approach in this matter, and that if care is not taken, this country that we all seek investment for may not attract that needed investment. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, the prima facie findings of the Council of State remain unpublished. Two, as we speak, the very report that recommended...
Honorable Member, I thought your reference to this matter was a matter before the House.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
But what you are talking about is not before the House.
Mr. Speaker, then let me use the phrase well. Let me rephrase it for the purpose of clarity. Mr. Speaker, my submission is to the effect that the matters giving rise for this motion to be taken are such that we, the minority, still believe that there are serious matters for the Constitution of our Republic. Mr. Speaker, and I say so because today we consider this nomination, and you have made it clear that our approval or otherwise does not bring a finality within the context of the rule of law, which I agree. I'm not contesting that. But it is our view, most respectfully, that one, the fact that the prima facie determination is not in the public space is of concern to us. Two, the fact that the recommendation, the report that gave rise for the final decision of His Excellency the President is also not in the public domain is of concern to us. Mr. Speaker, we contend that for the purposes of transparent democracy, the era where the citizens require information, it should have been an instinctive, inherent decision to have released the report. Because, Mr. Speaker, we hold a view that
this was no less a matter because it was dealing with an organ of government, of state, the judiciary. That is our contention. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member, as I said, you are complaining about acts of another arm of government.
Mr. Speaker, I hope my time is being stopped.
Not Parliament. Not Parliament.
No.
And those matters are not before Parliament. And so I have consistently guided you and your colleagues to deal with the matter before Parliament. Continue with the others at the proper forum, not the floor of Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, we are not litigating those matters in Parliament, but those matters gave rise to this, what is before us. So what I'm trying to do is to give a background to the very matter before us, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Eric Opoku in his submission argues with some force that executive manipulation started in Kufuor era. I found it very rich. And he tries to use that to justify the concerns that we are raising to say that we are acting in double standard. No, Mr. Speaker, in President Kufuor's era, no Chief Justice was removed. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Member,
Mr. Speaker,
please. I don't want us to go beyond what is before us, because many of the things that you say, because many of you were not born early, you don't know, you don't have the information. And in fact, I have bought some books, and I'm going to distribute the books particularly to leaders, so that you read to see the perception that we have given to the people outside there. They are very senior, intelligent people who held high office of state, who have written some books about Ghana politics. I have the books. I bought plenty copies to distribute to you free to read. I believe that will change your approach to how you go about the business on this floor. The information that I have from experience in this house, if I disclose them, many of the things you say are incorrect. The presidents and former presidents, they know. You don't know. And they know that I know what I'm talking about. So please, confine yourselves to the matters before the House. Let's deal with that one.
Mr. Speaker, we are saying that the fact that there appears to be some right violation against Justice Araba Isaba Tokunu, we in the minority are unable to support this nomination. Mr. Speaker, the learned Attorney General, in his submission, alluded to the fact that even when Parliament approves this nomination and the court determines otherwise, the executive would be bound to respect it. He was right in saying that when a court makes a pronouncement, the executive will be bound by it. But what he did not say is the conduct of his office in the handling of the very matter that he is saying when there is pronouncement, they would be bound by it. Mr. Speaker, he himself submitted that the rules of court allows for extension of time application to be made. The question we ask is that why didn't the Attorney General, considering the enormity of this matter, act with alacrity? Mr. Speaker, the question that begs for an answer is that for all these periods, if justice was really meant to be done, why didn't the Attorney General file a defense? He is now saying that we shouldn't worry, and that if there is any positive outcome, the president will be bound by it. But we are interested in the process. The minority in this house is interested in the process, and it is contending that his actions amount to bad faith and denying the respected
Honorable Minority Leader. Honorable Minority Leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
I acknowledge that the minority is interested, and you are expressing your concerns. And those concerns have also been expressed at the right forum. But I say this is not the forum for that. The Attorney General's conduct of conducting proceedings in that court is not before the House. That at all is not. And so please, let's handle what is before us. Then at the appropriate forum, which you are doing, you continue with it. You can just refer that this is what you are doing, but don't go into the details.
Speaker, with respect, Mr. Speaker, just place my time on ice for us to interrogate this preliminary matter. Mr. Speaker, well, I will leave it to you, but I would want to learn. Mr. Speaker, in my submission, I was responding to the Attorney General. These are facts that he has made known to the House. So I was responding to his own argument. I was not saying anything new. It is what he said that I was referring to. But if you say I shouldn't delve deep into it.
I stopped him.
Mr. Speaker, very well.
I stopped him.
Very well.
And I said he should come back to the subject matter on the floor.
Very well. Mr. Speaker, that's
please.
All. Mr. Speaker, if it is so, I will not belabor. Mr. Speaker, today, our colleagues who vehemently opposed just 2 nominations